Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast. Girls of the world, welcome on into the Sports Buffoon Studios, of course, once again, here with the full claim with us. We got Tanner Else on my right, Jason JG to my left. Sorry, I mixed up on you guys this time, didn't I?
Yeah.
So how you guys feeling today on a 2-0 Chiefs Wednesday? How we feeling, man?
Feel fantastic, man. You got Bitcoin sitting there at right around 62,000, and I am ready for a pump and then dump.
Wow. A pump and dump. All right, out the gate. Okay, well, we could see where your head's at for the day, I suppose. So, I like a good pump and dump every once in a while. That's good to get it out of your system, I suppose. But some of those things have to take longer to develop than others. So, sounds like you're feeling okay. Tanner, I don't know what he meant by that, but go ahead. What's going on, man?
I'm just happy to be able to talk sports tonight and not be working right now. So,
guys, you guys are not hitting on the extreme excitement we got to experience on Sunday during the Chiefs-Bengals game.
that's pretty phenomenal.
I mean, I need to hear some recap for the fans, for the people out there, because
do you really want to talk about Sunday?
Well, hold on. We have to, because there was a surprise for someone. There was a surprise in general. There was also a surprise for the show. No one listening right now knew what happened on Sunday.
It's true.
So it had to be a secret for a while. And the truth be told, guys, we had a suite on the 50-yard line of the Chiefs-Bengals game. We were ass to ass with the most famous woman in the entire world,
Donna Kelsey.
Donna Kelsey.
That was exactly what I
Swift,
loved every minute of it.
Taylor Swift was there too.
Yeah. She was there. That's
obviously,
fine.
Tanner was more focused on Donna Kelsey, so
Yeah.
that's fine. I saw her. I looked at her. That side profile, not my favorite thing, but that's okay. To each their own. Whatever you're into, Tanner.
Am I froze on your side?
Tanner, why is the stream froze?
So StreamYard has this new.
Oh my god!
You see that bubble
What about it?
with the like?
What
thumb?
about it? Yeah,
I've never seen that in my life,
I haven't either.
and that just froze the entire thing.
Can you pop the bubble? Who put the bubble there?
I don't know. Somebody on YouTube.
All right. Why don't we just let him figure that out? You and I can get into
Let's
get into the Taylor
the
Swift
experience of the game, guys. Because those listening did not know at the time last week we were going to be in a suite on the 50-yard line.
Pause for a minute.
of our whole
There we go.
lives.
All right, we're back at it, guys. We're back at it.
We're back at it.
We're back.
We paused. We're
Unbelievable.
back.
Are we live? Yeah, we're live.
All right, I
man.
guess
There we
we're
go.
live.
The greatest show of our
Guys,
lives.
until somebody else
gives
gives us
this
a
is how we
bubble.
roll.
Where did
This
we?
is how we roll.
Let's go ahead and get back into it. Okay.
This is so
Anyways,
hate StreamYard.
Tanner, God damn it! Why is it froze again? It's froze again.
Should I even talk at this point, or
It's the
should
same
I
What are
bubble.
you gonna do?
should I go sit over in the corner and play with
Hey, if you
myself,
can-
or because
can-
I had something important I wanted to say?
I was
but-
looking forward to it actually.
Hold on.
Tanner, right now we're still live. Like the timer is still going. We just the video's not.
Okay, yeah, we're live. So just
Pretend
talk,
like
guys.
we're not seeing this. All right.
This is a StreamYard issue, not a me issue. Just want to clarify
Right.
here.
We need to fire StreamYard. Okay. Anyways,
It's last time we used this.
sorry for the last minute, you guys. Anyways, Jason, go ahead, man. Tell me your experience in the suite and just how you got in there in the first place.
Yeah, man. I mean, you talked about the side view, but I did get a couple of still shots of her, like when she was actually facing me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, to be sitting, basically 25, 30 feet away from, like you said, the most famous woman in the world was pretty amazing. I don't get really starstruck by these things because, like, I've run into famous people before in my life, and one in particular was Mike Tyson when I was a teenager, and he was in his prime. I've talked about this before. When you're a teenager, it's a little bit different. When you're in your 40s, like I am right now, it's a little bit lesser. It's still cool.
Sure.
It's still freaking amazing. And I was showing her photos to everybody the next day, and I'm still showing photos. But it's a little more real. You're not as much starstruck for some reason as you are, if you're in your teenager years or 20s or whatever. But that was pretty cool. And I don't know what was more interesting. Being that close to Taylor Swift at the game and watching the game literally right next to her.
We got to watch the game with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's essentially what this was.
And Donna Kelsey.
I'm still struggling with, questioning myself. Was that more interesting, or was the fact that I basically snuck in to the suite when I wasn't actually supposed to be there and nobody stopped me? Because now we're in the day and age of, we have famous people, former presidents getting shot at now.
True.
And so you don't necessarily want people that are not supposed to be in a place, be in a certain place. And so somehow, some way I got in there. And as usual, the JG is always impressed at himself and the things that he can accomplish. But that was pretty cool too. Just the fact that I was able to weave my way through and get in there, and nobody really gave a damn.
I was most impressed by the first, because you got to sneak into two places, as a matter of fact.
You did.
I was most impressed by the first one, because the first one you were actually called out.
Yeah.
And you looked back at them and you go, I'm with them. and then they shut their whore mouths and they said, okay, you go ahead with them. You're with them. You go ahead.
Yeah. The second one wasn't, I didn't think that was a big deal. Because
because I scanned us into the second one, obviously.
Okay.
And then we just walked in naturally, like, hey, we're all here.
You scanned me
in. I didn't speak to the people that were in the room right away for a reason. I didn't want to introduce myself, because I don't know them anyway. And so I didn't introduce myself, and then we would go around, say names, and blah, blah, blah. I would say, oh, just come on in, and what do we do here? Oh, come on here. Oh, look at the field. Wow. So basically, we just wanted to act natural at that moment.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
But that's why I was most impressed with your first.
That was more impressive. And I think getting into the actual suite was much easier than, getting past, I don't know what you want to call them, the people that scan your tickets or whatever. It's not really security.
But you would think being in a suite directly next to Taylor Swift would probably warrant a little bit more authority there.
I don't think it was that big of a deal because they obviously were there. They got there early, and I think they made sure that Taylor Swift and her group were there, and kind of security escorted them in first before everybody else comes in. But getting out was a different story because everything was gated. You had to walk out of there kind of single file to get out of there. And so
that was weird.
They had really good security for her
to leave.
And everyone in that suite. And so I was really impressed by that. But the game itself, I mean, that was another story. Man. It was kind of rough, but that will probably, that might never happen to us again, guys. And that was a really good experience to be able to watch a game, with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm not a starstruck person normally. Obviously, Taylor Swift's a person that I think is interesting in some kind of ways. I think when I was younger, I liked her a lot more. She's fine. I mean, she's the same age as Tanner and I, basically. And so we've gotten to kind of see her grow as time's gone. I like her music's is pretty good to me. Like, even me as a metalhead, there's plenty of her songs that I really, really like. But just the fact, knowing that she is the most famous woman in the entire world right now, being right there next to her to watch the Chiefs game is pretty interesting to me. I'll give that.
You had an opportunity, by the way, as a single male right now. All you had to do was write your phone number down on a piece of paper and just stick it up on the wall. You could have stolen her from Kelsey and gotten her to go out with you.
There's a chance.
It's true.
So did you notice that those windows on the suites lifted up to where you could go outside the windows?
Yeah.
There's a small chance you could have had a friendship bracelet like Kelsey had, and then reach around the window.
Yeah. I mean, they've been together long enough by now. She's probably getting tired of a few things here and there that he does. So
that's true. That tends to be how those things go.
When you brought up that you're her age, I think you would have had a legitimate chance with her.
I think if I had reached over with a friendship bracelet, she probably would have taken it.
Yes.
But then again, her security guard probably would have pulled out his gun. If I saw that going on.
Yeah.
You get tackled, man.
Because
Tackled.
there was guys out there with big guns that were just waiting to take care of somebody if they needed to. So
They were looking for action.
but anyways, regardless, guys, we're having fun with this topic real quick. But Tanner, the game itself was pretty irritating in my opinion. In fact, it was one of the more irritating offensive games I've seen the Chiefs have with Patrick Mahomes, especially in a very long time. Mainly because Patrick Mahomes did not play his best game by any means. In fact, it was his lowest passing yardage of all time as a Chief. We saw penalties in big moments that really cost the team. It felt like the play calling was not up to par, especially against a big game like the Bengals. And then, it just seemed like even on that first drive, you're running the ball. You think to yourself, you could punch it in. And somehow you get down there and you can't finish. You can't get the job done on that possession. And you end up sticking with a field goal. And that seemed to be kind of the situation for the Chiefs the entire game. The MVP of this game against the Bengals was Chamari Connor.
Heck yeah, it was.
If not for that Chamari Connor return for a touchdown as well as a sack later in the game, the Chiefs lose that game. I mean, he was the MVP of this game, without a doubt. So as far as on the field goes, obviously we hear a lot of bitching from opposing fan bases, of course, as they usually do. I saw a lot of shit refereeing to begin with on both sides of this game. I think it was not a good officiated game either way.
We seem to encounter that against the Bengals too. Just poor officiating all the way around.
Just the way it goes sometimes. But man, did this game not give us something to be concerned about? Which is my primary focus of what we're talking about today, with the Chiefs at least, is that Patrick Mahomes had his lowest passing yardage of his career as a Chief, 151 yards. And it felt like after Rashee Rice, it was like pulling teeth to get another receiver involved in this game. Justin Watson was the number 2 receiver. He didn't catch another big pass until later in the game. Travis Kelce had one catch, and it was on a screen pass that went for a few yards. Did not get in the end zone, which was meant to get him in the end zone. Isaiah Pacheco, of course, he was involved in the passing game a little bit. Involved in the running game. Actually had a pretty good game on the ground.
He did.
Now Isaiah Pacheco's out for the majority of the season. Anyways, Tanner, what about this team? What do you think's going on right now offensively that they need to get figured out? Is this something that's fixable? Is it something we should be concerned about? Because Hollywood Brown is out for the entire season. Travis Kelce looks like he's 35 years old, because he is. What are we going to do here? What's the answer to get this Chiefs offense back rolling again?
Well, I can tell you one thing. Last year we blamed it on the receivers. It's not the receivers, guys. We can't blame it on the tight ends because you got 3 dynamic tight ends there to get the ball. So there's one guy it falls on, and quite frankly, to me, it's all Patrick Mahomes. Decision making, knowing what we're going with the ball. I think he's still adjusting to the room that he has with him. I think he's still adjusting to Xavier Worthy and what he's able to do. I think you're adjusting to now having Jared Wiley within the mix of Kelce and Noah Gray. I think there's a lot of adjustment now. Now you got Pacheco out. Now you got to figure out stuff with Carson Steele. Now you got to figure out with Samaje Perine, right? We got to figure this out, all right? And that's the biggest deal of it all. I think it just falls back on Patrick Mahomes. And lucky for us, we got one of the hardest workers out there for from a hard working standpoint, from a strategy standpoint. I'm not worried about this here, but I don't think it's anybody else but the number 15 himself behind the quarterback. And once he gets it, he'll get it straight. It might take us till week 5, and then we'll really see, I think, the offense ramp up here. But quite frankly, to me, 15, it falls all on 15.
So obviously the Chiefs made a move yesterday to bring in Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
He has been officially assigned to the roster. Obviously to help with the lack, we're going to be missing Isaiah Pacheco for the remainder or majority of the season at least. And so you have a backfield of Carson Steele. You got Samaje Perine, and you have Kareem Hunt.
Well, are you bringing in Kareem Hunt up
Andy
to the
Reid,
practice squad?
Andy Reid mentioned today in his press conference that he could be playing in this game against Atlanta on Sunday.
Okay.
Just for the record. But so Clyde Edwards-Helaire, of course, is going to be a guy who's going to be in the mix after week 4.
But do we think he comes back? I heard he's really struggling.
He has
between
to come
both
back.
the injuries.
If Clyde wants to be a member of the NFL,
you're going to force him back.
I'm not saying he needs to be forced back.
That's what I'm hearing.
What I'm saying is, if he wants to be a member of the NFL, he needs to
be
come back. We don't have time to waste, especially in a situation where Isaiah Pacheco is out for a long time. This is a situation where either you're here with us or you're not. And if you're not, then
I think it's a bigger deal than just being here or not. So
it's primarily a mental issue.
Primarily, yes. But there's another issue there with it too. So
I'm just saying. Anyways, my point with bringing that up, we got that situation we're trying to figure out. But what I want to ask you guys right now, that's something that I've thought about over the past 48 hours or so. Hollywood Brown was something that was going to be a piece of this offense that was going to create explosion within the team coming into the season, right? We now no longer have that as an extra piece that we assumed was going to be a vital part of the roster. A guy that's going to catch 80 passes, roughly, right? That's what we assumed. If you played every game, you're going to catch 80 passes if you're Hollywood Brown, right?
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore. Xavier Worthy's not going to catch 80 passes for this team. That's not how Andy Reid rookies work. That's not how this works on this roster. Rashee Rice is probably going to catch 110 to 115 catches because he's going to be force-fed. But the Chiefs cannot rely on force-feeding Rashee Rice and then assuming Justin Watson and getting Xavier Worthy 2 catches a game, and then Travis Kelce might have 2 or 3 a game. It's going to work.
Don't forget about the legendary guy we signed back ourselves, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Forget about
zero for zero.
Who doesn't look like he can run any routes right now.
Juju Smith-Schuster is a blocking wide receiver, which I didn't know was a thing. That you would just have a wide receiver on the roster just for blocking alone. But anyways, that's what's going on with Juju Smith-Schuster. So guys, the deal is, I think the Chiefs need to make a move right now for wide receiver. Need to make a trade for wide receiver. Yes, I'm saying right now.
Who are you going for?
There's options out there, guys. I already know you jack off about Terry McLaurin all the time. Amari Cooper is out there. The Browns are shitty as hell. There's options out there for some guys that could step in right now and be a productive part of this offense.
We know Amari Cooper is not going anywhere.
I'm telling you, there's some good receivers on some really bad teams that could be available right now if the Chiefs make an offer. I think the Chiefs have to make an offer. Hollywood Brown was a 1-year deal anyway, guys. A one-year deal. It's irrelevant. If he's ready for the playoffs, great. The assumption has to be worst case scenario. He's not here at all this season, right? We can't go this whole season going, well, in January he'll show up. No, it doesn't matter. Because even if he does show up, he might not be ready. He might not be your guy who's going to be reliable or stretch the field the way you hope to begin with in July and August. So the Chiefs have to make a move for wide receiver, in my opinion, right now, because I actually think still long term this defense is not as good as last year's.
Correct.
This offense needs to actually make up for the lack of the defense we're going to have later on in the season. It's not going to be the same defense as we've had before in the last couple of years. The offense, the entire point was that we'd have Pacheco, we'd have Hollywood Brown, and the offense would actually score more points than your prior 2 years. And now we're not going to have that anymore. This is not the same situation any longer. The Chiefs need to make a move for wide receiver. And I don't know exactly who it is, but I know it needs to happen. I know it needs to be a guy that can be a reliable number 2 behind Rashee Rice. So that's what I want to have happen. If that requires giving him a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, a 5th rounder, I don't know.
You could be competing with a few other teams too, you know.
I'm ready to make it happen because you can't roll with Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Justin Watson as your top receivers all year long. Because Rashee Rice being force-fed, 170 throws his way at some point, 170 targets this season, he will also at some point get a nagging injury. He will also at some point get beat up. That's the way it's going to work.
You want to?
What about Hardman? We got Hardman. Throw him in there.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
You got Traylon Burks out there. It's on the trade block. You got possibly Deontay Johnson.
No, we're not. I don't care about the trade block, Tanner. I
You
care
want
about
Darius Slayton.
good receivers on shitty teams.
I'm with him. In
none of the
terms
guys
Robert Woods.
None of the guys you just mentioned are good receivers.
No.
I
I'm with him though on the McLaurin deal.
I would love McLaurin.
I think we're jumping the gun a little bit here. I feel like I want to see what happens. It's still pretty early in the season. I want to see what happens in the Atlanta game. I don't feel like we need to make a trade like right this second, but I do agree with him. Like if there's a deal that can be made, we're trying to make history here. And when you're trying to make history and win 3 Super Bowls in a row, like you do need to be aggressive. So I do agree with you on that. I'm not necessarily trying to make a deal right now. I want to see the way the next
you ain't getting a one.
These next couple of games because we're 2-0 right now.
Michael Pittman Jr. who's not being used
You
at all
are
in the
not
right way.
getting that at all.
I mean, you're probably not getting that.
You are not.
Well,
That's a dream list.
I'm looking at wide receivers who are being misused in their situation.
Correct.
McLaurin,
Deontay Johnson is right there in that.
He also sucks ass.
I know he does.
That's why I'm not.
But those are the receivers you're going to be
coming
looking
from a guy that used to like MVS, and the two things those guys have in common are they're both stone hands.
Can't fucking catch a ball.
You like MVS the same way that you like Deontay Johnson.
I don't.
You like both of those guys.
Neither
they
of
have
those
stone
guys.
hands, man.
I hate them.
Something needs to be put in play.
You're not getting a Michael Pittman Jr. style. You're not getting a Jamar Chase. You're not getting a whoever.
I said I want
Scary Terry, dude. You're not getting those.
I want a WR2. Terry McLaurin is a WR2 as far as we're concerned. As far as the Washington's football team is concerned,
they've already played their hand. Okay, so they got rid of Jahan Dotson, so they're already selling.
They don't know.
You already know that they're selling, so
it's available.
They're not going to ask.
That's
for
your
that
one
much.
team. That's your one team that you have to trade for it with.
We'll give them Sky Moore, and they're going to be happy.
No, please, no.
And they're going to be happy.
Don't do it.
They're going to accept it. Be happy.
Yeah, we'll give you Sky Moore and CEH.
Sell it to Commanders fans.
If they want to have Clyde and Sky
you can
Moore,
have Clyde and Sky Moore, dude.
No, please.
We'll even throw in a fourth. We'll even throw in a fourth rounder.
I don't want to tell them potential here.
No, I'm just saying we're 2-0. Let's just see what happens over these next couple of weeks because I don't think it's not as bad as you guys think it is. But
Andy Reid's dealt with this before.
If we find out that it is that bad in a couple of weeks, then we'll go ahead and make the trade.
We all went to training camp, right?
Yeah, we did.
This past year.
I did not. It was the first year. First year since Alex Smith.
So you missed it. We all know in training camp this whole year, the entire idea behind the offense this year was to throw the ball downfield. It was deep pass, deep pass, deep pass. That's the entire work that they got in the entire offseason was deep ball play. And we saw that awesome throw by Mahomes to Rashee Rice on that go route, which is awesome to see Rashee Rice running go routes because we know we can.
Yes.
We just didn't see it last year, right? So it's awesome to see that. It's awesome to see Xavier Worthy. It's going to be a guy that's going to be a downfield threat more as the year goes on. We know how that works. But this team, I mean, Mahomes, 151 passing yards, including that 44 or 47 yard touchdown pass to Rashee Rice.
What's up, bottom line?
The rest of his attempts for their entire game was all like 3 yards and under.
The other reason why I agree with you on making a trade now or soon is because Travis Kelce is obviously on a pitch count right now, and they're not gonna try to run him into the ground until late into the season. And so if you're trying to save him as well, you're not going to be able to do that. I mean, you're going to have to start using him just to win games in the regular season because you got to have that third guy in there to catch passes.
Yeah, and that's what their idea. Their idea is to save Kelce for later in the year, and I get that. I have no problem with that. The problem I do have is with the fact that receivers are not getting open guys. We saw Kingsley Suamataia obviously getting benched, left tackle, in the middle of the game. As he should have.
As he should have.
It was bad. Mahomes was holding the ball too long because guys weren't getting open. At the same time, Kingsley was giving up major pressures. Facing Trey Hendrickson, I don't really blame him. You're a rookie left tackle. It's not like it's an easy challenge right there, man. I don't expect perfect work out the gate by any means. He'll hopefully get that figured out. But in this current time, we need a guy that can get open underneath. We need a guy who's somebody. It's not named Rashee Rice because we can't rely on him to get 20 catches a game to make up for the lack of guys getting open because Justin Watson's not getting open unless you run a random corner route or a random curl route where he's just standing in space against a zone. He's not going to beat a guy in a man-to-man. It's not going to work that way with Justin Watson.
No.
And then Xavier Worthy, like I said, Andy Reid doesn't have rookie receivers do this. Deshaun Jackson is your best comparison to what Worthy could be with this offense. But even Deshaun Jackson's rookie year, he might have gotten plenty of yards, but his still receptions were around that 60 range. So his actual usage took a while to develop.
Well, through 2 games, you got 5.1 in air yards per pass attempt. And then you also have 269 intended air yards on all pass attempts, whether complete or incomplete, for the year, for between the two games.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, this last game was pretty rough for Mahomes.
Yeah.
Was not his best work by any means. So, guys, now that Pacheco, we know, is going to be out for a while, are you concerned about the running game at all? I mean, Carson Steele had a fumble early in the game. Can we do running back by committee? Is that the idea? Obviously, before Pacheco was the primary back. Running back by committee is the idea going forward, in my opinion.
You are.
Because you're going to
see it.
Your combo of Steele.
P. Ryan's going to be in there for passing downs.
Well, P. Ryan needs to be also a rusher as well.
Correct.
I don't think we can just say, "Oh, you're McKinnon," because you're not McKinnon.
I think Fabio needs to be your guy up the middle, taking it to the defense, being Perine in, mix around the outside game there, have him in as a blocker, and part of a pass catcher, I guess. But I mean, really, until Kareem Hunt's up to speed, that's what you got.
That's why Andy alluded to that a little bit in this press conference, is that he might get some work in this current game coming up. Because
Carson Steele's probably not ready
you can't
to take on that
Carson
load.
Steele 15 to 20 carries.
Why can't you?
He's not
Tanner,
ready for the load.
Let him
Tanner.
go, baby. Let that hair flow.
Tanner, I don't care about his hair. This is not how this works. This is not Isaiah Pacheco. This is not Isaiah Pacheco. It's not the same kind of thing.
I know it's not Isaiah Pacheco, but he runs in a similar fashion where it's hard nosed, up the middle, right at the guy. I think you gotta give him an opportunity here. You gotta give him.
He's gonna have an opportunity.
You gotta give him the 15 carries opportunity.
I'm not ready to beat the guy down. We might. I mean, if we're assuming Pacheco's out for a while, it'd probably be a good idea to preserve him as well.
Could be.
Because otherwise, who's your power back? Kareem Hunt, not down the stretch.
I guarantee you, come Sunday night, what you're looking at primary of Carson Steele, and then you'll see Perine being worked in. You'll see very little. You'll see very little of Hunt in the end.
Samaje needs to be worked in as a running back, not a receiving back. He needs to be worked in as a running back. Guys, he set the record against your goddamn KU. Back in college,
he did.
The all-time single-game rushing record was set by Samaje Perine against KU. It was like 430 goddamn yards was the record that Samaje Perine set.
I'd say, like I said,
so obviously you can run the ball.
Mix him in. I think Carson Steele is your main back, though. You got to give him the most in the end. By the way, Kareem Hunt, if we get what he was at Cleveland last year, is that a win for us? We okay with that?
What are you saying?
What he was with Cleveland last year.
He
was signed.
He averaged
3 or 4 games in.
What did he average? 4 yards a carry?
Yeah, he signed. We were signed 3 or 4 games in.
It was 2. After we have to read 2.
Okay.
Nick Chubb went out,
and then Hunt came in. Kind of got mixed in a little bit the first week, and then he had the majority of the workload after that.
If Kareem Hunt comes to the Chiefs right now, which he is, and give me 350 to 400 yards for the rest of the season on the ground, that would be amazing. Like, to me, that would be well worth.
That's a win.
Bringing him back for just him alone, 350 to 400 yards on the ground for Kareem Hunt. And guys, let's not forget, Kareem Hunt was also a good receiving back for the Browns during his time there a couple of years ago. Nick Chubb was the primary guy on the ground. Kareem Hunt would come in and steal the receptions. I remember that as a Nick Chubb fantasy owner, was that I was getting kind of irritated at times because it seemed like I know Nick Chubb could catch the ball, but Kareem Hunt's catching passes.
Yeah, I got you, Flo. Yep.
So
yeah, I would say with Kareem Hunt, let's just get him ramped up, see what he can do. A lot of people freaking out because he's 29 years old, which technically that's old for a running back, but he's only got about 1,300 career touches. So you take that into effect, like that's not dude, he's not that old, dude, in terms of the wear and tear.
1,300 touches. Imagine we're 15, 20 years ago. You're a baby. Like you have nothing.
No, he is. He's a total baby. He's got a lot more. He's got a lot more gas left in the tank.
Remember
for
Fred,
sure. But they got
Fred Jackson. We used to talk about that all the time.
Fragile Fred. Yeah, absolutely. They just got to get Kareem Hunt into football shape. That's the big thing right now. So,
yep. All right, guys. Well, anyways, let's move along real quick to Falcons. Any input going into this game? Sunday Night Football in Atlanta, by the way.
Yep.
By the way, be careful. You're flying Delta in Atlanta. It seems they have some runway issues with some of their planes. They had an accident not too long ago. In fact, the day after I got back from Mexico, they had an accident.
And you were down there
from Delta. Delta had a little runway incident.
Interesting.
That apparently no one was harmed, but it looked like it was about to be a big issue. Some planes collided, or a plane collided into something. So,
That's
anyways,
freaky.
I hope those passengers have been taken care of.
Injury report for week 3, guys. As of Wednesday, 9/18, Kansas City Chiefs, everybody was a full practice outside, of course, your IR guys. Atlanta Falcons had limited practice for their 4 guys. Tyler Algier limited with a hip injury. Antonio Hamilton Sr. with a groin. James Smith-Williams and Taquan Graham. So overall, I think everybody's looking decently healthy for this game here for both teams.
How is Antonio Hamilton still in the league, Tanner?
I don't know. I was wondering the same
It's a
thing.
weird one for me.
I was confused when I saw the name, and I was like, "Yo, that's the guy."
He's still in the league.
Still there.
Huh.
So he's still kicking. He has a groin injury right now, but it looks like he was limited today. So
Yeah, well, they had a big comeback win over the Eagles.
they
So
did.
obviously they've shown that they're capable of getting some big victories against good teams, I suppose. Eagles.
I don't know, dude.
They haven't been very good since they beat the Chiefs a year ago. So that's why I say it that way. But hey, Atlanta has some talent, man. I mean, we got the tight end who is like Bigfoot, Mr. Kyle Pitts. He seems to just disappear. You can't ever find him, and then randomly pops up for a big play every once in a while, which against these linebackers the Chiefs have, I could see that being kind of a problem, just for the record. Obviously, facing a guy like Drake London is going to be interesting because I don't know if you put
Kirk does look like he's working on his way back.
Trent McDuffie against Drake London. I don't know if that's a good idea in that situation. Trent McDuffie being a guy who's, roughly 5'10 and a half against a guy like Drake London who's 6'5". I don't know that you cover him that way. I think maybe have a safety over the top to help out in that case, like Brian Cook.
It's going to be interesting there. Ray McLeod being the third string guy, speedy guy. And then Darnell Mooney, of course, on the outside.
Yeah.
Who's another guy that comes alive and disappears at many times.
He's done that his whole career.
His
whole career at this point, he's done that. But the Falcons are interesting, man, because I think coming into the year, we looked at the offense and we go, oh, there's lots of talent there. So, I mean, it seems like there should be a team that works out. I think they do put up good points against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they actually give us a good fight. I think defensively is where the Chiefs could take advantage against their defense. I mean by that. But things got to fall into place. Chiefs got to get the rhythm going. Chiefs got to get to where they understand their identity has to be restructured a little bit within the team. The identity up to this point, I think, it was going to be a lot of Pacheco. Pacheco is going to be involved as a primary identity of the roster offensively, and Rashee Rice. You can't really do that anymore. You can't have an identity of one running back anymore. Rashee Rice is still an identity of the team, but
correct.
Travis Kelce has to show up in this game, in my opinion. I mean, there's got to be a situation here with Kelce where he goes out there and has, your 5 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. You guys realize he only had 1 touchdown in his last 10 Chiefs games?
Wow.
Regular season.
Didn't realize that.
It's that scary at the moment. 1 touchdown in your last 10 regular season games for Travis Kelce. This has to change right
and
now.
Only like 400 yards, I think, total.
43 catches and 400 yards for Travis Kelce in his last 10 Chiefs games. Yeah. It's not good, man.
But that proves that he's on the pitch count. That
right.
There's still a big debate about that. Not everybody agrees with us on that, but it's kind of obvious
Henry
to
too.
me.
He's on a pitch count, so
yeah. Well, we saw Kelce in playoffs, obviously make impact moments like he normally does. But this is a moment where it's like, hey, you guys want to win this game, or is this going to be a game where we go out there and jack around and take a loss because we couldn't get our playmakers to show up like Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's my theory on the game at the moment.
That's wild. I think Bijan's going to be a problem.
I have less confidence in this Chiefs game than I did the week before against the Bengals.
By far.
Just gonna throw it out there for you guys.
Kirk looked like second half he was starting to come back a little bit to form. He felt a lot better. He was under center more, which was how he runs anyways. But Bijan looks like a problem for our defense this upcoming week.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
So,
Jason, what's your thoughts on the Chiefs?
AJ Terrell looks like a problem for our defense or our offense this week.
Yeah, I think Bijan and Kyle Pitts can definitely be a problem. I agree with you guys on that. I thought Kirk Cousins, I mean, again, small sample size. I thought Cousins was very pedestrian in week 1. He threw 2 interceptions.
Obviously, first game off the ACL.
Obviously, a lot better last week.
How long?
But I mean, I don't think he's that great of a quarterback, and I think the whole key to the game for me is to just we gotta get in his face, and we gotta limit the amount of time that he has to make a decision back there.
Correct.
And so I think if we can just get to him and rough him up a little bit, to me, that's the key of the game. And I think that's what we have to do. So
Yeah, you don't have to be you don't have to be a good quarterback to win these types of games either. You can be Kirk Cousins style. Go ask
Yeah,
Peyton
and
Manning
I
in the
think
Super Bowl.
even for the Chiefs, I mean, that to me, that was a horrible game last week. So even though we won the game, to me, I still view this as a bounce back opportunity for the Chiefs. As bad as they look last week, like I don't think you're in danger of this being some sort of a trap game. And plus, the Falcons, to me, have a chance to win the division. They have a chance to win their division this year. So I don't think it's like a game where, we're just going to look past them. I think the Chiefs are going to be ready for this game and take him seriously. And I think, just we got to get to Kirk Cousins. I think that's the key to the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. The D line is going to be big on this game. It's going to be a very important part of getting the victory defensively.
For
I
both
think
teams.
offensively, the Chiefs still have some things to figure out. It's not going to be happening in one game.
Bottom line said both offenses are struggling a bit. The Eagles secondary is not great, and the Falcons couldn't exploit it until the end. That's true.
Yeah.
But again, Kirk was coming back from the ACL. That was his only game and a half in. He looked rusty that first game. He looked a lot better in that second half. And if we're getting a warmed up Kirk, quite frankly, I'm a little concerned here with this game, especially at home for Atlanta.
So you ready for picks? You
Yeah.
guys obviously are both picking the Chiefs to lose.
Minus 3.5 shift spread.
Yeah,
46.5 is your over under.
Yeah, as far as those picks, I'm not going with over-unders or spreads. I will give you a Chiefs pick if you'd like, is what we're going with. Guys, I have the Chiefs to win. I'm not going to bet against Andy Reid and bet against Patrick Mahomes right now. Why would I? Just because I'm concerned, because I do have concerns, does not mean I'm going to lay it out there and say, we're going to lose this game. Even though it seems to be in situations like this, we do find ways to lose. Obviously, there was a couple of years ago against the Colts, similar things happened. Matt Ryan, Chris Jones did something mean to Matt Ryan. Next thing you know, we take an L.
Hurt a ref's feelings.
So Chris Jones needs to not say bad words to Kirk Cousins or, say something about something religiously that's going to bother the referee, because Matt Ryan didn't care about that at the time. It was the referee that got butthurt. But anyways, Chris Jones, when you get a sack on Kirk Cousins, go ahead and keep your mouth shut next time.
I think
that way we can finish off the game. Anyways, with that said, I feel concerned about the game. Same time, I have the Chiefs take care of business. Score of 27. Once again, just like against the Ravens, to 19. Chiefs 27-19.
What do you got?
Which means they cover against the Falcons.
I almost feel like he copied off of my cheat sheet over here. So yeah, I mean, we have concerns. I've got concerns about the Chiefs, but I had bigger concerns. We talked about the wide receiver issue this year. I had bigger concerns with the wide receivers last year. Again, this is a bounce back spot for the Chiefs because I didn't like what I saw at all last week. So minus 3.5. I'll go ahead and take the Chiefs 27-20. They will take care of business as well this week.
So same score as the Ravens game.
Yep. And at this point, I'm not concerned about keeping Kelsey on a pitch count. I do not care about that right now. I just get me to like 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Then if you want to start dropping games, by all means do it, or you can make your trade or whatever the hell. Right. So let's get to a solid record here first.
Once the wide receiver trade happens, you can put Kelsey in the pitch count again.
Yes.
Look, man, this thing goes over 50 for this game. This is a 50-plus total point game. So you're definitely taking the over if you're looking in that category. But we are keeping it close, boys. We are keeping it close. Pinnacle, if you don't know who Pinnacle is by now, one of the sharpest sportsbook out there, has plus 3.5 at minus 112, with everybody else there. And that's a high minus 112 there.
Is this a paid endorsement, Tanner?
That's insane. I'm just saying Pinnacle here. Like that's what the book you always kind of look at, just gauge where you're at. It stays within 3, man. We're looking. Let's go 36-33.
Man, that's a really high scoring game.
I think it's gonna be a high scoring game.
If 36-33,
I think we got a repeat of the Rams style game. Kirk Cousins is going to come out firing,
well,
dude.
Tanner, that was hold on.
Bijan's going to have
No,
100 yards
Tanner.
pass
No,
rush,
we're gonna
receiving,
rough. We're gonna
rushing.
rough him up.
No,
That's
that
gonna be
Kirk Cousins is gonna
that
get
game
roughed up.
you're
I know.
referring to was
Stop. I know.
56-54 or something.
Yeah, that was insane. Philip Gaines,
59-57 or some bullshit like that.
So, no, I think it's gonna be high. I think you're up there in the 30s this game here, but it's gonna be close within 3. So, shoot out, let it go.
Okay. Anyways, we're all still feeling good about the idea the Chiefs win this game. But obviously concerns. And if we do end up failing and Chiefs take an L, I think it's going to be a great learning experience for the roster and for the team at the moment, because I think the team's going to realize, hey, we need to figure some things out, man.
Bottom line, if my mouse will let me get there, that's cool. Whatever. Bottom line has Chiefs winning 22-19, a field goal fest.
Field goal fest.
Very possible, man. The way everybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would hope in the red zone the Chiefs can figure their own crap out. You would think that a team like the Chiefs, who have been struggling on 3rd and 1 forever, with Carson Steele, now can break a damn tackle and get that 1 yard we've always been trying to get after. But they've been using. Tanner, you notice this? I hope we all didn't notice this. Leo Chenal is now our fullback.
Yep.
Leo Chenal is now our fullback in those situations.
Yep.
So it worked last week.
Go hit a guy.
Leo Chenal as a fullback did his damn job last week and did a damn good job, as a matter of fact.
Go hit a guy. That's what I'm saying.
So just for the record, I just want to point that out. So anyways, any other comments, or we can move on?
Sorry. No, we're good there.
All right, guys. So let's move right along. We got a couple more topics, of course. So Royals baseball, of course, coming right up next. We've been doing this segment throughout the entire season, dating back till back in the spring, guys. And it's basically a state of the Royals. We do this back when we were doing bi-weekly. We were doing that every bi-weekly. Now we're doing weekly because the playoffs are right on the corner, man. This is no room for error any longer. This is no room for anyone to steer themselves wrong. There's an issue at the current way things currently stand. Royals took another L today. Is that their 3rd or 4th in a row?
4th in a row.
4 L's in a row. And the record since Vinny Pasquantino has been injured is under 500. It ain't pretty, man. It's not a good situation to be dealing with at the moment. This team, with Vinny Pasquantino up to that point of the Urseg throwing towards Vinny at first base, throwing it way offline, Pasquantino gets injured. They were 18 games above 500. You guys, they were 18 games above 500. This team at this point now is completely fallen off the track of where they were at. The bullpen sucks ass. The starting pitching still the same goddamn thing it's been all year. Those guys are showing up to work every day, which is nice to see. But it's gotten to where it's kind of frustrating because you had a playoff team who was ready to get in there and do some damage, and that we kind of trusted. You might win 90 games. You might win 92 games even. That's not the case any longer. That's out the window, and this team is now on the verge of shooting their own goddamn ass up their own goddamn ass with a bullet. And it'd be really sad to see the team that's done this all year long to get to this point and then ruin everything when that was not who they were for the, let's say, 90% of the season. It's frustrating, man. And
now let's calm down now.
Can I get animated a little bit? Because we're seeing it dwindling away. It's a burning fire.
You're saying that they were the same team the whole. I guess they were the same team. You could only beat the losing series non-playoff team, so that's fair.
They were.
I guess you were the same.
Tanner,
team. That
stretch they went down that you talked about a month ago. Did they not take care of business pretty well? Pretty well against those teams.
They did decent.
It was a 20-game stretch, and they won at least 10 of those games.
Yeah,
against really good teams. Really good teams. You had the Yankees and the Braves, and you had a.
What are you talking about, Mike?
The stretch you brought up about a month ago.
That's this upcoming. That was the Yankees already.
No, it was a stretch that already happened, Tanner.
So you lost. You got swept by Houston.
You brought it
in
up
a 4-game
series. We went out there
lost
and did
to the Philly series.
Job.
Yeah. It was the Philly series. You lost,
and then Pasquantino got injured.
2 for
and
1.
Everything went downhill afterwards.
You beat Cleveland in a 4-game series.
Just fine.
Congratulations. And then you went off and you got lost. You got swept by Houston. Okay.
Tanner, that's
What-
when Vinny was out. I mean, at that point they gave
I
up.
see nothing positive from what you're talking about.
What I'm saying is during that
They
20
didn't
game
get swept by
stretch-
every series.
No, they went 10-10 in that series. That whole 20 game stretch you're talking about. They did a good job.
You
against
lost
those
the
teams.
series.
No, the series. What do you mean the series? No, that stretch you're talking about that you referred to back then.
I don't
was a
look at
20 game stretch.
I ain't
They went
looking at
10-10
I
in
ain't
that
looking
stretch.
at total record of the last 10-10. I'm looking at what series did you win? You didn't win any of them. You won Minnesota. That's it. Congratulations.
No, you didn't. You also beat the
Oh,
Guardians.
sorry, you beat the Guardians. Oh, my bad.
3 out of 4 against the top team in your division.
Whatever, dude. I ain't worried. That's
3 out of 4
stupid.
with Vinny.
You got
With Vinny.
You got
had Vinny.
swept by Houston.
That's
You
my
lost
point.
to Philly in the
And
series.
during that
Then
stretch,
you went back and
is when
then
Vinny got injured.
you lost 2 games to Cleveland. You swept Minnesota, and then you lost 2 games to New York. Yeah, you won 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh, and now you're about to get swept, or you got swept again against Detroit, and you're going in San Francisco, Washington, Atlanta, who's fighting for that final wild card spot.
The current future of this team is not the same team we've been watching all season long. I'm
Well,
just going to say that.
Quite frankly, the Royals are really lucky.
They're lucky.
They're lucky now, or
Wow.
they got lucky when
No.
they beat
They're
Cleveland
lucky.
3 out of 4?
They're lucky going into this final stretch.
He thinks they're
I
lucky
don't
now
understand what the hell
somehow,
he's talking about.
even though they've had one of
Man-
the top pitching rotations in the entire MLB.
How are they
all season
lucky?
long.
How are they
They have
lucky?
the
if-
MVP of baseball on
I'm
their
confused.
roster.
Are you guys
who's been
confused
winning
what I'm
games
saying here?
for them?
They weren't lucky. They were just skilled. Now they're lucky that they're going in the final 2 weeks
But
with
they're-
Minnesota
okay, so
having
you
such a tough schedule.
got them in. You're locked in on the
I think they
Royals.
get the final wild card spot. I think
That's
Detroit
amazing.
jumps
So
us.
We've all flip flopped this whole time.
Detroit jumps us. Minnesota is out. They have Boston and Washington and Orioles to end the season pretty much. They have one other series I ain't worried about, but outside of that, we can win 1 game against San Francisco. We can win 2 games against Washington, and quite frankly, it's going to come down to the Atlanta series. In Atlanta,
fine.
that's
They
your
won-
that's
it's a
your
good team.
wild card potential.
I think it could have been different.
both
This,
teams.
It could have been different.
But
this
then again,
year.
Atlanta's going to be all wrapped up.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, woulda. I don't care
Hey,
about that.
Atlanta's
This is
going to
not
be
part of it.
all wrapped up in their own nonsense. They're not going to care about the Royals at that point.
They
What we're
gotta
trying
win,
to
though.
do. Atlanta's in.
No, it's not. Mets are in right now. They're 2.5 games back to the Mets, and they got a tough schedule at that. It's going to come down to that 3 games for either team to get in the wild
All
card.
right, are you done with that shit, Tanner? All I was
Do you
going
want
to
the
say
facts
is,
or do you want the opinions?
all I was going to say is that I think, under different circumstances, if you just had a normal roster where you didn't have, bad relief pitching the entire year, and then all of a sudden, he's laughing because I probably
No,
said
but-
this last week too.
No, but
Yeah,
it's the thing.
if you had a great relief
can-
pitching and
which-
great
no,
pitchers
Scott,
and great
dude, you've been
hitters
talking
and
average.
great guys
You've
all the
been
way around,
talking
you would
for
win
like-
these games.
Dude, you've been talking for 10 minutes
You've been
straight,
average.
okay? My point is like if you had decent relief
So,
pitching,
Robert,
you have a chance to absorb the loss of a Vinny Pasquantino in that scenario. But we don't have that. We don't have good relief pitching. So now all of a sudden you lose Vinny Pasquantino, that crushes everything. And I wish it didn't have to be this way, but I'm looking forward to next year. That's all I can
don't
say.
think so, man.
I am done. We are out. We're not going to make the wild card. Even if we do, who cares? They're not going to do anything with it. So
Oh, you're
I'm-
not doing nothing with it.
No, I'm totally
You
out.
can't beat a winning team.
So it's funny that we've kind of flip-flopped this year. I do not think they're going to make the playoffs at this time. I do think that it was a very successful season until that Vinny injury, and I'll be looking forward to next year.
Yeah, the Vinny injury really made a major impact because it had to redesign the entire offense in a way. If you guys paid attention,
Yeah.
right after the injury, the offense fell apart. They forgot how to hit the ball, all in general, and the lineup. They were throwing random guys in there, random
They
spots in
signed
the
Tommy
order.
Pham. They
They're
signed a
just
few
putting random guys in there at random spots in the order to see what the hell would stick. And it's almost like this. It's crazy that a guy like Vinny Pasquantino was such a foundational piece of the order of the lineup. I think more than a lot of people realized.
It was huge.
And yeah, I love Vinny Pasquantino. He's an awesome player. And it sucks that now 2 years in a row, his season's been shortened due to injury. But it shows how much of an important piece he is to the offense right now for this team. But yeah, as he was saying, the bullpen is the primary reason for why this team is failing at the end of the day. The starting pitching has been Tanner, they are the primary reason. Tanner,
Are you gonna listen to us, or are you gonna listen to?
I'm telling you right now.
Are you gonna listen to me and you, or are you gonna listen to a Brewers fan? That's all I want to know.
Hey, by the way, congratulations,
by the way,
Brewers!
He always
winning the
says,
division.
He always
Congratulations.
It's
says,
been obvious all
Let's
year.
go, babe.
by the way, when we talk about the Royals, he always says we. Who's we? You're a Brewers fan, bro.
I'm a Royals fan first.
Don't say we like you're a Royals
I tell
homer.
everybody I'm a Royals fan first.
Okay, well, whatever. I don't know if I believe all that.
I would say
but-
this year I've watched roughly 70% of the Royals games.
Did you buy Bally's?
Somewhere around. Tanner, I didn't need to. Yes, I have had Bally's.
So there you
I've had
go.
Bally's all year.
I would have watched Royals games too if I had Bally's
What I'm
earlier.
telling you,
But now we got something even
as
better.
someone who's watched at least 70% of the Royals games this year, the bullpen is the reason why this team has been sucking
I'm aware,
ass,
but
okay?
everybody's bullpen sucks.
Everybody's
Everybody's
bullpen
bullpen
sucks.
Okay, not the Detroit Tigers.
Actually, I was going to give you guys some positivity in this.
Look at him and change the subject right now.
I was going to give you
Detroit
some
Tigers
I
just beat
don't,
her-
I don't want
Tanner.
positivity. I want
We
your.
went 0-3 against the Tigers in this last series, and now we changed the subject. When I say the Tigers bullpen is actually the best in the goddamn league, and that's why
And
they went
suck
3-0.
too, and they suck too.
Tanner, did you watch the games the last 3 nights?
Yeah.
Before this,
That's bad.
the bullpen for the Detroit Tigers.
They got to be better.
Oh, look,
I don't need his positivity. I just want your
I want-
prediction. So
I wanna
I've
throw
got
this beer.
yours. I've got mine.
I want to throw this beer at his face.
I've got what's your prediction? Because he's already got the Royals in. I'm out. Did you have them out of the playoffs?
I can't take anything he says serious anymore.
No, he's a
I'm
Brewers
over it.
fan. Nobody's going to take him seriously.
They
But
don't hate
I'm
on
going
it.
to say the same thing I've said all goddamn year up to this point is that, yes, they're still going to make the playoffs.
okay, that's all I want to know.
Can I give some positivity in this?
That's all the positivity I needed.
I was just going to give some
'Cause
hype
he's
to the
not giving
Royals.
up.
No.
He's not giving up. That's all I care about.
That's all.
You go with your Brewers. You do whatever you need to do.
I'm still a Royals fan. I'm a Royals fan first. I tell
As
everybody
what?
that.
Your 9th favorite team?
I don't have that many teams. Jesus. Guys, look. Sure, we couldn't win against Philly in the series. Sure, we couldn't win the Astros, who were one of the hottest teams leading into from August into September. You weren't going to beat the Yankees, but you did beat the Twins. That's a positivity. You did beat Pittsburgh. That was a down team. They were horrible, but you lost to one of the hottest teams in the MLB. You got swept by them inside your division when it matters the most. But you also lost tonight to the future AL Cy Young winner, and you lost 4-2. You scored 2. You got 1 run off the guy. I think there's some positivity in this here for what you did play in the last 30 days, and now you go on to, a competitive San Francisco team. You go beat up Washington, and then you go give it your all for the last 3 games. So, I think there's some positivity that you did play against very hard competition. And now you got it a little easier, but you face that final 3 games is a playoff series. So go get it.
Yeah, man. I hope you guys are right. I totally hope.
Go get it.
I hope that I'm wrong. I hope they make it in. But to me, no matter what, I view this season as a successful season because of where we were, which was in first place in the division
at one time.
Yeah. For the record, guys, I'm the only non-flip flopper.
I will flip flop all day. It's all situational.
Sure, you would.
Just because you're a bone hard for your team and
No.
you think they're a playoffs and best team.
Well, I'm doing it for.
You gotta be realistic.
And I'm doing it for a reason. I'm trying to motivate. my
I
team
know
by
what your
talking
reason
shit.
is. I know what your reason
So, like,
is.
I'm getting desperate right now. That's the only reason I'm doing it.
It's what it is, man. I think the
1 week
Royals
from
can be
right
there.
now was going to show a lot of new things. One week
Friday,
from today.
Saturday, Sunday, the 27th, 28th, and 29th.
1
Be
week.
ready to watch Royals all 3 of those days.
1 week
I
from
am
today.
going-
Insane.
I'm going to the Giants series, so I do need them to win that series. After that, let's just see how it goes.
Which
Sam,
game?
1 week from today when we talk
Friday.
again.
Friday game.
1 week. This Friday?
Yeah.
For the Giants series?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Well, now we got that settled for the moment. We'll come back to this next week. Don't worry. It's going to be pretty hardcore, I'm sure.
Yeah, it always is.
Guys, let's do it, man. Our favorite segment this time of year is our gosh darn easy money bet of the week.
Easy money bet of the week.
So, what we got? Go. Do you have something to say?
No, I don't.
I thought you were going to get him.
No, you guys are doing your weird voices, kind of freaking me out a little bit. And by the
whoa.
way, he's drinking a Coors Light, and that freaked me out even more. He doesn't even drink light beer.
Give me your best creepy voice for the easy money bet of the week.
Easy money bet of the week. That's my Halloween voice. All right, you want me to go first?
No, we're doing a recap first, guys. Let's
All
do a
right,
recap
I don't
here.
even want to hear the recap.
All right, we're doing a recap here.
Bad.
The Buffoons did go 3-3 last week. JG went 0 for 2. He had the Cowboys -6.5. They flopped pretty bad, and the Colts were a big choke against Malik Willis at -3. Mike lost his bet.
I did lose
His
mine.
first loss of the year here in week 2. Jags -3. That didn't hit for sure. Oh, but then there's this guy
Nope.
who bet 2 college games and an NFL game, and he went undefeated. Undefeated? Get out of here with this here. I went 3-0 last week here. Steelers -2.5. Easy victory. UNLV +7. They played against my team, and I knew they were going to at least be within the 7 points, and they were until they lost it on top of that, which was very unfortunate. I did not want the loss, but I knew we were going to be within 7. UNLV +7 got the win. And Thursday night's game, AZ State -1.5, because that Dolphins-Bills game was not fun to watch at all. That was a blast game to watch with Texas State, and AZ State ended up winning that game at the towards the end there in the fourth quarter. Pulled ahead by 7, got a turnover late, and closed it out. So my record is 3-2. Mike's record is 2-1, and JG is 0-3-1, which brings our Buffoon record to 5-6-1.
All right, we're
Going
getting there,
into week
guys. The
3.
goal is 60% win rate by the end of the year. So let's assume we're off to a rough start.
Fucking brutal.
60% win rate on the horizon, man. As a group, 60%. We can do this. So, guys, who wants to go first? Who's your
JG?
easy money bet
I
of the
gotta
week?
go first.
Kick
since
it off,
I'm the,
man.
You got to
I'm
make
the-
up for it. You're 0-3.
I'm
man.
the absolute bottom feeder here, and I'm
0-3-1.
dragging us down. So I'm looking for some positive JG regression here in this upcoming week. Do you guys want one from me or 2?
Hey, you
Well,
give me
we all
however,
doing
the
two?
one you believe in.
however many.
The one that
whatever-
I believe in.
Hey,
Whatever the hell you believe in.
However many you want to give me, you give me.
You could give us 12. You want to give us 12? You want to give us 12? You can give us 12.
I got
I
4
want to
this
turn it
week.
around fast. I'm going to turn this thing around fast. So, since I am the bottom feeder on the show right now, I am going to target the bottom feeder in the NFL, which is Carolina Panthers. You got the Las Vegas Raiders. They are going to be -5 against Carolina. And a lot of people think that was a fluke win against the Ravens, and maybe it was, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because they're playing Carolina. So I'm going to take the Raiders -5, probably going to end up being like -30.
I don't know. Andy Dalton's playing now, so
He sucks.
you have somebody that can see the field now.
He's like
Never know.
he's like 50 years old,
You can
dude.
see somebody who can see the field.
Might
No,
not
that guy
matter.
sucks. I'm not worried about him. And then for my second one, I'm looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars at Buffalo. Jags started off 0-2. Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked that bad, and honestly, the Jags defense has been pretty good so far. They're not giving up a lot of points. So give me the Jags +5 at Buffalo.
All right. I like it. Okay, Mike. You're
All right.
up, dude.
Tanner, if you have 4 picks, it's gonna be hard for Starsky to do a Buffoon bet parlay.
That's not my problem. Dude.
I'm just telling you, the goal for Starsky is for us to like all get our picks right and then win a big parlay bet. And if you got 4 of them, you're making it tough.
It's not my problem, man.
I've already told him.
We tell him all the time not to parlay this stuff, and that's his fault. So
No, I think he should parlay it, but just like subtract.
He needs to do single bets more.
Well, no,
Straight bets.
he needs to do a Buffoon bet, but with a maximum of 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying?
Well, exactly.
Just put
Yeah.
3 or 4
Yeah,
total.
go for
Whatever
it.
whatever you want, Starsky.
Yeah.
But don't
he needs
put-
to do straight bets too.
But don't put all 12 of Tanner's college football bets unless you're going to bet against everything that he says.
All right, my next one.
I don't know, man. I'm 2-1 right now.
We'll see this one Sunday afternoon. Guys, now that 2 was out for a while, I, as a guy who has gone to a lot of K-State games, have seen quite a bit of Skylar Thompson, of course, in the past. And I just want to say, man, he's not meant for the NFL. Skylar Thompson is not an NFL quarterback. It's amazing. He's actually stuck around now. This is his 3rd year in the league, which is crazy. But he's facing the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle in this situation,
Mhm.
and it's going to be ugly. Right now, the Seahawks are favored 4.5 is the current spread. Give me Seattle all day to cover that because it's going to be mistake central, and they're going to do their best. The Dolphins are going to do their best to hide the flaws of Skylar Thompson, but at the end of the day, he's going to make mistakes. He can only do so much with that situation, and you're going against a guy who Geno Smith is a veteran who has been around the league long enough now. He knows how to protect the ball better than he ever did before, back when he was in year 3, like Skylar Thompson is. And you got guys on your team that's terrific. I mean, DK Metcalf had a big old 56-yard touchdown last week. I still think there's big time playmaking ability on the Seahawks team, and it's going to be easy for them to game plan against the Dolphins, against the quarterback like Skylar Thompson. It's not going to end well. This is not a Matt Flynn situation. This is not one of those kind of things. Skylar Thompson's flat out not good and not meant for the NFL. That's all I want to say. At 4.5, Seahawks will win by at least a touchdown. At least.
And I agree with you on that pick. But guys, if you see the referees for whatever reason start to try to control that game, you know there could be something that's rigged, because there's no way that Mike should be wrong on that pick. There's no reason for it. So if you guys see flags start flying, if you see flags flying all over the place, then the fix could be in on that particular game.
Seahawks will win the game guaranteed, but that spread is something I really like for them to cover.
Okay.
Just for the record.
Starsky says 4 bets just mean more money when you hit. That's right, dude. That is correct.
All right, Starsky. Well, so I gave you 1 bet. JG gave you 2. Tanner's got 4.
Yeah, 4.
So you ready for a 7-leg parlay, Starsky?
Hey,
he doesn't care.
That's
man.
Plus the boost on DK too. Every leg.
So
you add.
maybe bet $3 on this one. I don't know, man. I wouldn't get too crazy.
Yeah, go ahead. I hope I go in.
He's got plenty of money. He might put 100,000 down on one.
100,000.
By the way, everything I'm giving you, I've already put $20 down on every single bet I'm giving you today. So
you did not.
I did too.
I'm ready for Bitcoin.
I'll show you my bet.
100,000.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it here. First, of course, we got 2 college picks to go into the 4-game picks for Saturday and Sunday. We got Liberty at ECU at Liberty. Liberty's 3-0. ECU's 2-1.
Where Chris Johnson went to school.
Which one?
The running back, Chris Johnson.
Oh, ECU.
ECU.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't think about that. Good job, Mike.
Whenever you bring that up, that's what I think of.
It's a random one. All right. Look, ECU has played against nobody fantastic. They lost against Appalachian State by 2 points last week. That's fine. Liberty, on the other hand, playing against New Mexico State, ended up winning that game. Very, very great the first half of that game as well. UTEP they blew out as well last week. And I'm aware, guys, if you're looking at this game, you're on coverage and you're looking like, man, Liberty hasn't covered anything. But that's because all their spreads are minus 24 and up. And it's hard to cover those freaking games, quite frankly. Right now, their spread is -6 against ECU. Yes, I know it's a team up in a way, whatever you want to put the quotes under. But I love Liberty. I love the fact that they have such a high-powered offense. They go out and score points. And I think ECU is going to be underestimating these guys here. There's a reason why Liberty was such a hot team last year. Give me Liberty at -6 for our first game.
I want a piece of that. I think I'm going to go opposite.
I hope you do, man.
I want a piece of that.
I hope you do.
I might put 500 on that shit.
Hey, you know what? I'll show you where. I'll give you the app and everything. So, see your next game here. Sorry, I forgot who I had next. Tulane at Louisiana. In this one here, look, Tulane
at Louisiana. So they're going nowhere.
At Louisiana.
Literally in the same goddamn state.
Correct. Look, they had a hell of a game against K-State. Mike knows this. He's a big K-State. They had a hell of a game against Oklahoma, SEC Oklahoma.
What's the spread?
It's -3. Tulane.
I think I like it. I think I like Tulane.
I think I like Tulane
so you're right. So I do watch a lot of K-State games. I actually watch majority of all of K-State games. And Tulane gave K-State a freaking fight in week 2. I actually think I agree with you on this one. I think I like Tulane to get the victory and probably cover that. I like this -3, by the way, Tanner, because If it falls on exactly 3,
Correct.
you still get your money back.
Those are my numbers.
It's a
Those are my
push.
numbers here.
So if it's an even number like -3, that tells me you get your money back. If it just happens to fall right on 3. Obviously in football, we all care about 3s, 7s, 10s, 14s, whatever.
Right.
But I like it. I actually like that one. That's my favorite one you've done so far.
Tulane -3. So 1-2 is Tulane's record, obviously against 2 really good teams. And Louisiana's only played 2 games this season so far. They had Grambling and was it Kennesaw? Kennesaw State.
Meanwhile, Tulane's played a top 25 team.
They played 2 top 25 teams.
So Tulane's seen the
potential
good competition.
Big 12 winner of K-State and a potential SEC contender of Oklahoma.
Tulane's ready to roll their asses.
I'm pretty sure -3 is a pretty low number right now.
I like that one. That's a good pick, Tanner. I like that one.
We're going Tulane -3 for
I think I would. I don't want to do this because it would rig the polls, but I would go with you on that one if I could at this point. Actually, I'm going to do that in my spare time.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll do a mail-in ballot for that one.
So I'll make sure I got my stuff here right. All right, we got 2 NFL matchups here on Sunday. We are going to Raymond James Stadium here. We got Denver going into Tampa Bay. 0-2 Denver, 2-0 Tampa, which we like a lot here. Denver, of course, played Pittsburgh last week. Lost within 7 points there. Seattle, they played first week, lost within 6 points there. Got JG a push on that one. Meanwhile, Tampa's out here is just crushing teams offensively. They beat Detroit last week by 4. And then they got Washington, of course, took care of Washington that first week here. Bo Nix is still not looking good. That whole team's not looking. He's a rookie. He doesn't suck. It's just
it's a rookie quarterback on a bad team.
Yeah, it's a rough team. They don't have a lot of weapons out there either. I mean, he's throwing to nobody essentially. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, Baker Mayfield is putting up some numbers. He's throwing out to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Rashad White might even miss this game, but you got Bucky Irving back there taking care of business. Kate Otten. You guys don't like Irving?
No, we're laughing because, who gives a fuck about Bucky Irving?
I do. Who's going to take Rashad White's spot when he misses with the injury?
No, it's fine.
That's like
at
saying,
the end of the day.
That's like saying I care about Dare Ogunbowale.
No, Bucky Irving is light years ahead of Dare Ogunbowale
back there, as if that's supposed to mean something.
I care more about the Buc-ee's gas stations down in Texas than I care about
Bucky.
Plain simple. This line's only at -6.5. It's not even at a touchdown. Give me -6.5 for the Bucks on Sunday there. And then finally, we're going to go to a team that disappointed me a lot on last Sunday there. They lost to Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers after Jordan Love went down. One chance that, you could actually do something. And what a disappointment. Why can't I find it? What a disappointment for Indianapolis. And I know Josh Downs is returning. That might help them out a little bit. Josh Downs will play this game.
I mean, Josh Downs syndrome.
Hey, he's pretty good. He's decent. Look,
he's not very nice.
Chicago out here is being underestimated here. Okay, Chicago's underestimated out here. You took care of Tennessee late in the second half, only threw 93 yards. You almost beat Houston. CJ Stroud, you almost beat him. That there should be something to contend here as we go into it. It's a -1. It's +1 is your spread. Give me the money line. Give me Chicago winning this game and Indianapolis +100. We're going at it all
if it was
day.
up to Tanner, Caleb Williams would be 3-0 now based on his picks.
Actually, I did. We have a pick 'em on LTS, and I got laughed at for my Chicago Bears pick on Sunday Night Football, and I got laughed at for my Atlanta Falcons for Monday Night Football. And guess who won the pick 'ems for this week?
Well, week 1?
Week 2.
Well, the Bears didn't win week 2.
The pick 'ems. I say the spread. We go off the spread. The spread. They won the spread.
I see.
I'm good with the spread. So that's what I got, guys. Jace G's got Raiders -5, Jags +5. Mike's got Seattle -4.5. I got Liberty -6, Tulane -3, Bucks -6.5, and the Bears money line as we go into week 3 of Easy Money Bets.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I hope, Tanner, you had a lot more than we did. So
I like the lines. I like these lines.
So is this your way of challenging us to have more picks, or
I'm just saying there's more out there
than
what you just
at the end of the day,
one time.
As a group, I want us to have 60% win percentage.
That's fine.
Okay?
But we can do one bet all we want.
What I'm saying is I like to do one bet. I could do 2 or 3 if you want me to.
I'm just saying. No, you don't have to do anything. I'm not telling you
I'm
to do
just
anything.
saying I can do that if you want me to.
I'm just saying I go
I
out there.
don't want your bets to necessarily carry the percentage as time goes on because you're going to have more attempts. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that might not actually
serious.
matter because on average, he's going to get 2 players and 2 bankers. If he does 4 bets a week, I mean, he's going to get 50-50 on most of them.
But Jason, we've seen his average over the last couple of years.
That's fine. That's
not-
why I
the last
always
couple of
say
years.
great average.
That's why I always tell people
This is year 3 now.
bet the opposite of what Tanner says. You'll probably be rich by the end of the year.
Swear to God, guys. There's more out there
I
than
almost
just 2
feel like-
lines and 1 line.
I feel like
for
I'm going to
easy
need to
money
bet
bets.
more to overcome whatever happens on the banker side of things.
Says the 2 guys that went 0 for last week. Have fun.
I was
with
0
that.
for 1, dude. I'm
Have
2
fun.
My-
Look at
hey,
me. I'm 0 for 1.
My
Look at me.
percentage is 66%.
I went 3-0 last week, dude.
I was
Get over it.
66.6% last so far for the season. So I'm doing pretty good.
I'm 3 out of 2. What's that make me?
3 out of 2. That's 60%.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, Jason's gonna get there. Don't worry. Give him time.
I just want to say that I am extremely disappointed and sad that I missed out. I'm just now realizing this in real time that I missed out on National Cheeseburger Day. I did not get my
It did.
50-cent cheeseburger
There was
from McDonald's, and I did not get
That was
my
today.
penny. I didn't get a penny junior bacon cheeseburger
Yes,
from
you
Wendy's.
saw it too.
I'm pissed.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, it was.
Today?
Yeah, today.
Yes,
National
we
Cheeseburger Day,
all
man.
Wow.
freaking missed it, dude.
What's your favorite? What is your favorite
I went to
cheeseburger?
Chipotle.
So when I was a kid, it was the actual Wendy's junior bacon cheeseburger. I used to eat that stuff on a weekly basis, and then I just found out it's a penny, and I missed out on
Yeah.
it.
Oh wow, man.
So I'm going to keep an eye on that next year, I guess.
yeah, I went to Chipotle and I just didn't even think about that. I was busy with other shit.
Yeah.
I had pizza.
I
at
guess
work.
when you make as much money as we
It's
do,
free.
then
I didn't want to spend money. So
I
I
guess-
ate a lot of
guess-
food this week.
he does.
No, I did. I didn't eat dinner last night, guys. I went and worked out and didn't eat afterwards. So
I
there you
guess
go.
when you make as much money as we do, it
There you go.
just keeps freaking rolling in week after week after week. You don't really care about penny
No, but
cheese-
you know what I
penny
do care
cheeseburgers
about? I do
anymore.
care about birthday deals. Like, so it's your birthday month or
Oh,
whatever.
that's very important.
Like, I care about that shit because you get, like, Old Chicago, you still get a free pizza for the
Yeah.
record, which is my favorite thing to take advantage of. And then I think there's other restaurants around town where you get free bullshit for your birthday week or month or day.
Kansas City area, any of you who like Garozzo's Italian restaurant,
Yeah.
they will give you a free entree on your birthday,
Free entree on your birthday.
which is like your
You get
whole.
a-
That's your whole meal.
Well, sure. Do you got to show ID or how does that work?
Yeah. I mean, you got to show your ID, or
It's gonna be
sometimes
on
they
like
just
the day
believe
of.
you,
I'm
but
assuming though.
Yeah, on the day of your birthday, they will
Hmm.
give you a free entree.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Now, that's a good Italian restaurant too, by the way. I love.
Oh, yeah.
I love Garozzo's.
I've been to Grozzo's back in the day, especially more than I have
I've
recently.
only
But
been a couple times.
Grozzo's
Yeah,
is pretty
it's
good.
free.
Alright.
It's free on your birthday, man.
That's good to know, man. It's good to know. Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, I guess we will be back next Wednesday with more hot Royals takes, of course, because it's gonna be closer to playoff time. We'll be figuring those
That'll-
things out.
That'll be the final full season week.
Well, it will. It'll be the final of basically, hey, are you in or are you out?
Yeah.
On the show of who's right, who's wrong for the whole goddamn season at this point. Of course, we'll learn more about the Chiefs after Sunday
I
night.
mean, that means after that, we talk next. We're either in or out of the wild card.
Well,
Pretty damn close to it, at least.
well, yeah. I mean, next week's basically going to be a big week for us talking Royals. Basically, our last chance to say yay or nay on all of our opinions. And then, of course, an update on the Chiefs because it's going to be week 3 to me is going to be a big deal. Does the offense get figured out without Pacheco? And does the receiving game, Mahomes having his lowest of his career, get figured out as well?
Can you get it figured out? Yep.
Can that get figured out? And then, go from there, basically.
I feel like with the Chiefs, we could just bring back Donnell Bennett out of retirement.
well,
And then with the Royals, we bring back Joaquim Soria to fix the bullpen issue.
I would bring back Kimball Anders over Donnell.
Wait,
Bennett.
which
Oh, Don-
I would-
I know.
I'd bring back Kimball.
I know
Anders,
he's your
personally.
boy. I
personally-
wanted to throw a random name out there.
Well,
which one keeps
because he kept saying over and over during the show, "Oh, we need a guy who'll just run it up the middle, run up the." That's
Carson
what
Steele,
Donnell
baby.
Bennett used to do back in the
We
day.
got
well,
Carson
you
Steele.
could either. Here's the thing: Donnell Bennett's fine, but I would take either Kimball Anders or Tony Richardson to be my replacement for the fullback, and just shove their asses up the middle and see what
Yeah,
happens.
I like that. I like that better.
Probably what I'd do.
But no Joaquim Soria in the
No,
bullpen.
no. He was bad. late, man.
His
He was
return
bad.
to the Royals after his absence was pretty rough.
He was bad in
Ooh, he was
Detroit or
kinda
Chicago, wherever the hell he
It was
was.
really- didn't Greg Holland come back for a minute?
Yeah, that was bad.
That was
too.
also really
and Wade
bad.
Davis was bad too.
So basically, don't bring
Don't
back
bring
an
anybody
old
back.
closer. Basically, if you're closer, when you're done, you're done. Like, don't bring him back.
And-
again
Well,
after-
that's to sell tickets. We all know.
And
this.
if you're
that's
the
true. That was true. That's true.
and if you're the Chiefs, don't ever bring back retread 49ers quarterbacks unless their name is Joe Montana.
Yeah, we'll hopefully avoid that after Mahomes' career is over. Because if that ever happens again, if we start going on that path again, then we're gonna know that somehow Carl Peterson's back and Lamar Hunt has returned.
Well, you'll be bringing back Brock Purdy at that point, right? When Mahomes retires.
We're
We'll be bringing back a retread Brock
All right,
Purdy.
guys.
We're not doing
We'll
that.
catch you.
We're not
We'll
doing
catch you
that.
next week.
It's a
We're
long
out.
long time from now.
All right, guys. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Outro. See you guys.